Hi guys, welcome to today's video. It is my Jane Austen July book tag. Now, I've left my notes over to one side. Now, this was created by Blatantly Books and Books and Things. These are the people who have been running Jane Austen July. Now, I've not been doing every one of the challenges, but I have read Mansfield Park and Confessions of a Jane Austen book addict. Now, I love this. This I picked up because of the lovely lady who tagged me in this, which is Tia from Tia in her books. And this, in some ways, reminds me of her because she's definitely a Jane Austen addict. Every time I think of Jane Austen, I think of Tia. Now, whether this kind of becomes part of this video in other ways, I don't know. I'm going to blag it a little bit. But anyway, yes, I was tagged in this by the lovely Tia, and I'm so grateful. I have enjoyed reading Jane Austen. Mansfield Park is actually my third Jane Austen book. I've read Persuasion, which I'm sorry to say I hated. I've read Emma, which I think I will love her the second time I read it, but it's definitely good. But so far, I really did enjoy the answer to the first question, which I'll tell you in a minute. But I plan to read Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility soon. I would love to pick up her other works, and I will be looking out for them as soon as I can. Anyway, let's get on with the prompts. Question 1. What is your favourite Jane Austen book? Now, out of all the ones I've read, this is definitely it. Mansfield Park. I have actually really enjoyed it. It took me a bit of time to get into. Second and third parts, I think, to me, were the best, but I really did enjoy it, and it's definitely made me fall more and more in love with Jane Austen, and I can't wait to read the other books. Who is your favourite Jane Austen protagonist? Now, actually, I know that Charlie would probably say Emma, but to me, it's Fanny. She is brilliant. She stands up for herself. She falls in love, but she knows what she wants, and she stands up for her rights. Yes, she's emotional. Yes, sometimes she can be slightly over-dramatic. But I fell in love with her, and I love the fact her strength of character. I love that she loves her family. She loves her elder brother. I think, to me, she's brilliant. I really did fall head over heels in love with her. Name a book of yourself that you think Jane Austen would wholeheartedly approve of, and why. This is the Jane Austen Book Club. Again, if I get time to finish this by the end of Jane Austen, I might well tackle it. It's about a book club. It's about once a month they discuss her books. Who wouldn't want to be talked about? You know, you write books. Obviously, you'd want people to talk about them. So I think this one would be one she would really love. As to whether I get around to it, it's about 300 pages. If I get time, I may read it. If not, I'll read it another time. But again, Jane Austen, gotta love it. Now, name a book that off your shelves that you think that Jane Austen would have hated and why. Now, this is hard for me because obviously not reading enough of her books, I don't know exactly what she would have thought. But to me, I think Why Mummy Drinks, because she would not want women to behave necessarily like that. She wouldn't necessarily want women to degrade themselves in that way, because at that time in her that she wrote, women didn't do that. Women behaved properly. And this mum doesn't necessarily behave the way she would have wanted. Now, the next one is, I'm using my notes for this. What is your favourite Jane Austen minor character? Now, actually, I think it was Mr. Woodhouse from Emma. It's Emma's father. He was lovely. He loved Emma and he loved his other daughter. He loved his grandchildren. He was a sweet and warm guy, and to me, I fell in love with him. I thought he was the sweetest, kindest guy, and obviously he makes me think of my dad, so yeah. I really loved that. I really loved him, and I think he was amazing. There are other characters. I think I loved the leading male in my Mansfield Park. I loved him as well. I loved Edmund in Mansfield Park, but he was another one. It was a really tough choice between him and Mr. Woodhouse. Edmund I did fall head over heels in love with, but to me I always think of him more as a primary character rather than a secondary character. Name a book of your shelves that you feel somehow would have been inspired by Jane Austen's piece of work. Again, I don't know. Would she have maybe thought of this one, Confessions of a Jane Austen Addict? But to me, actually, I'm going to say this one, Raw by Cecilia Ahern, because it's short stories about women. It's about women empowering themselves, and to me, Jane Austen's work at the time was about women empowering, women protagonists, and empowering women to believe in themselves. And I think, to me, this book does inspire that. It does talk about, lets you cry, it lets you be yourself, and it really empowers women. And to me, that's something that Jane Austen did in her era. So I think she would have loved this. Which Jane Austen's character do you simply love to hate? Now, again, this could be many of them. But I actually thought Mr. Knightley and Emma. Because he was a rat bag at times. He really annoyed me the way he was with Emma. He really was a complete pain in the bum, and you could have quite easily killed him. But at the same way, I loved him because I loved that he loved Emma. I loved that he stood up to her. He said what he thought, and he did. And so I actually loved him. I really thought he was fantastic. And yeah, so that's obvious. This is only a short tag video. I think it's too late to tag necessarily loads of people. But I'm going to tag Simone, from me, Simone and I. And if there is any other of you out there that haven't done this, that did take part in Jane Austen July and that love Jane Austen, please do it. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below what was your favourite Jane Austen book, because I would love to hear. And what Jane Austen book would you recommend I read next? Do I read Sense and Sensibility or Pride and Prejudice? Actually, I may well put a poll on that on Twitter. So I will do that now. I'm going to add that link in. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed Jane Austen July. And like I said, if you have taken part, please let me know in the comments below. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to me but want to, ring on that ding-a-ling. I will, by the way, link at the bottom the Books and Things, her channel, and the announcement video that she did. And I will also link below, obviously, Simone's channel and Tia's. Take care, guys. Hope you like this. Bye-bye.